Let me guess, you've trained for a year or two, you followed the perfect routine put together by the man himself, Ronnie Coleman, yet you still haven't made the progress you thought you would. Realistically, most people take years to figure out what actually works, and it's surprisingly not Ronnie Coleman's super high volume bro split or Rich Piana's 8-hour arm workout. For 99% of the population, it's the complete opposite. So in this video, I'll outline the 5 principles that you need to follow to build so much muscle it feels like you're cheating. And if you're new to this channel, I aim to cut through the influencer waffle and conflicting advice on the internet that is designed to confuse you and keep you clicking on each video to learn the next secret hack. Number 1 is to stop chasing the pump and start chasing strength. When I started, all I was focused on was feeling the muscle, feeling like I'd completely torn the muscle down to rebuild it, and focusing on the pump for metabolic stress and to provide the muscle with nutrients to grow. None of that makes sense, by the way. The only thing that reliably allows people to get measurably more muscular is just to get stronger. Most PTs get it entirely the wrong way round. It's not getting stronger that makes the muscle grow. It's actually growing muscle that allows us to get stronger. The more contractile tissue we build, the more ability we have to produce force. So if we're getting stronger in the gym, we can be pretty sure we're growing muscle. And there will be someone in the comments that say, then why are there people who can bench 180 kilos that are smaller than me? Yes, there's a skill element to lifting and a nervous system tolerance that can be built up to move more weight, but for me and you, all that matters is that we are getting stronger. Trust me, the muscle will come. Number 2 is to just get good at a few movements. I see people far too often focusing on 70, maybe 80 different movements across the week, and then they switch these out every couple of weeks to shock the muscle. That just isn't what works in practice. The truth is, muscle building is mind-numbingly boring. You need to do the same few exercises every week for years and years. Just get as good as you can at executing that movement and progressing that amount of load and reps you are doing session to session. And to prove this, for the last 2 years, I've basically just done 2 chest movements a week, got stronger at them, and I think I'm pretty confident saying I've grown a little bit of muscle along the way. Number 3 is to place health as a priority. I get it, it's easy to jump into the mindset that more is better. More carbs, more protein, more calories, which leads to poorer food choices, a completely dysregulated digestive system, brain fog, and the feeling of tiredness all day, every day. The reality is, micronutrition is just as, if not more important, than the quantity of food you are eating. Hypertrophy outcomes depend on optimized hormones, enzymes, energy production, nerve signaling, and recovery capacity, all of which require vitamins and minerals to function how they're meant to. If you aren't eating 800 grams of fruit and veg a day at the minimum, no amount of rice and oats is going to save you. Number 4 is data tracking. You can't hit what you can't see. If you aren't visibly measuring progress through weekly photos in the same spot and lighting, tracking body weight, calories, expenditure, then you're just shooting in the dark and hoping for the best. If suddenly your training isn't yielding results and you haven't tracked anything, how do you know what to fix? It could be that your calories are insufficient, but it could also be because you're not hydrated or sleep deprived or training with too much volume. The more detail we have, the more accurate we can be in diagnosing issues along the way and adapting our routine when necessary. And don't lie to yourself. It sounds silly, but at the start, I try and make sure I had slightly better lighting in my photos than last week, or I drank slightly more water in the morning so that the scale weight was higher. You're literally sabotaging your own progress if you do this. Number 5 is just go to sleep. Nothing productive happens after 9 PM. Netflix binges to wind down actually have a humongous effect on the next morning, impacting our natural cortisol elevation and dopamine self-modulation. And I know it's a struggle, but removing late night dopamine sources, which includes junk food, TikTok reels, alcohol, is probably one of the most productive things you could do. The earlier you get to sleep before midnight, the better. Aim for at least 7 hours of sleep at night. And whilst we're at it, make those 7 hours as effective as possible, which means good sleep hygiene. Try and set your room temperature to a little cooler than usual. Have a warm shower before bed. Remove screens and blue light an hour before the time you're scheduled to sleep. And try to limit water intake and large meals as you approach bedtime. Get rid of caffeinated beverages after 2 PM, cut out the alcohol, and ensure the sleep you are getting is as high quality as possible. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that building muscle isn't about secrets, hacks, or copying what genetic outliers did on a cocktail of drugs in the 90s. It's about doing a few simple things consistently for a long time and not sabotaging yourself with impatience. get stronger at a small number of movements, eat like an adult, track what actually matters, and go to bed. That's it. It's not sexy, it won't go viral, but it works. And if you're sick of spinning your wheels and want a system that actually fits around real life, that's exactly what this channel is about. And if you're interested in learning how I actually put this into practice day to day, then check out the free course linked in my description. Subscribe, stick around, and stop making this harder than it needs to be.